Hi there ladies and gents, boys and girls, it's Frosty Jack here. I hope you're all well and enjoying yourselves. So today we're going to start it out in the 2x4 and we've got the orange juice in here. It's currently day 7 of flower today and yeah, I've got to say I'm pretty damn happy with how everything's looking in here. As you can see, there is quite a difference between the plant on the left and the plant on the right, and this just goes back to what I was saying on the last video about having uniform cuttings and having better mothers, basically better mums or donors or what have you, that you're taking those cuts from, so you get that uniformity. So it all kind of comes back to that, basically that propagation side of things and veg stage and what have you. So yeah, still on the mission to get that, get things back to 100% in there. And yeah, things in the veg tent at the moment are looking pretty damn good. I've got a new round of mums on the way, so these lot will be getting chucked out very soon, but they're still looking very healthy, and I could take another set of cuttings off them, but I don't need to. So yeah, those lot will be going very soon, and then I'll be getting the new set of mums out. But anyway, back to in here, like I say, day 7 for these ladies, and yeah, everything's looking pretty damn good. I haven't done any cleaning up whatsoever, as you can see. I'm waiting. I'll do this probably around about probably between day 15 and 21, somewhere around there. That's when I'll get in here and give these ladies a clean up. Now, it's quite an open frame plant, so there isn't a huge amount to do. She will get a stretch on, although I'm trying to limit that as much as possible and trying to keep, I don't want these big elongated plants if I can help it. Something I've been doing in the past, and I just need to get away from it because I end up running out of headroom, especially in this tent, because it's tiny. It's like, I don't even know how tall it is, but I'm like 6'2", and it's a pain in the ass to kind of get your head inside there because they've got this stupid flap up here. But anyway, enough of that moaning. Like I say, I'm pretty damn happy with how things are going in here. I've cut back on that watering a bit compared to what I was on the last rounds, just in mind of, you know, what could have been a potential pathogen that I had in the last batch of soil that was in here. And for those of you who aren't aware, I did change the soil in here. We've got a fresh batch in here just because of those potential pathogens that could have been in the soil, that could have been causing an issue that I saw, and that's one of those things, is a reduction in yield, and along with a few bad smells that I was getting from the soil every now and then. But anyway, that's a story for another day. The yield that I pulled off of here on the last run on the Loud Candy Cream, which I knew wasn't going to be very good anyway, only came to about 5.5 ounces. I can't remember what that was in grams. So yeah, it certainly wasn't groundbreaking. The flower wasn't bad at all. The quality of the flower is actually fantastic, but the overall aromas and what have you certainly weren't there. There wasn't anything impressive. So yeah, subsequently they're gone and they shan't be run again. But yeah, it's nice to smoke. It isn't mind-blowing. So yeah, anyway, so there we have it, the orange juice, day 7 of flower, and of course we're in the Ecothrive living soil and running the Migro Aray 4 in here. Anyway, over to the 2x2, and we have got the after dinner breath in here, and it is currently the first day of flower today. And of course we're running in this 7-gallon pot, so this is a lot smaller than what I would usually do. For those of you who follow me regularly, you'll know normally I'm in the like the 20 gallons over here, as the kind of smallest. But yeah, we're in this 7-gallon pot. It's running a bit of an experiment, so we'll be following roughly or kind of to the line the Ecothrive feed chart, which you can find online if you go to the Ecothrive website. Along with the 10% discount code in the description below, little plug there. Yeah, that's what we'll be doing in here, just kind of following those guidelines. Again, it's a smaller pot, so we might need to bulk things up a little bit, but all in all, things are looking pretty damn good in here. I mean, she's a relatively hardy plant, relatively easy to grow as well. She puts up with a lot of crap, but yeah, I've got to say she's looking really, really healthy. Some nice luscious green leaves, and yeah, they just feel great. And that is one thing I would recommend to newer growers as well. Get to feel a healthy plant if you can, because it says a lot. You can feel in the kind of turgor in the leaves and what have you. yeah, it's just good to be a bit hands-on from time to time and feel them. So like I say, the first day of flower, I'll probably lop off these couple of little lowers down in here, but nothing too much. As you can see, I've come back in with the bends again. I don't use these very much anymore. When I first came across them, I used them quite a lot, but as things and my kind of methods have changed, I don't use them as much anymore, but they do still come in handy. And I will probably use them again just up in here, just to bend some of these tops over to form a bit more of a flat canopy as we go through into that kind of stretch phase. Hopefully keep them as even as possible. She does have a tendency to throw out a couple of longer ones, but you know, I'm not worried about that. This lady is quite stretchy, so I definitely want to get her in flower now before we run out of space, but we should have plenty of space. You know, we're talking normally, yeah, I mean, you're talking, I think she almost 3 times her height, so she'll definitely be up here somewhere, but we'll see. Anyway, the after dinner breath, and like I say, really happy with that in there. Over to the other 2x2. So I just wanted to dip in and let you know, I don't normally do this and speak about how or what I recommend or how I go about it. So with these 20-gallon pots, I don't actually do any soil testing anymore, simply because of the cost effectiveness. I used to, and I used to have, I think I had 4 20 gallons at one point, and then 2 other beds in the 3x3. So the cost of doing testing, yeah, became really expensive, and so subsequently I've cut back on that. I do still get soil testing done in the 2x4 and the 3x3 bed. I do think it's really important to do so, but when it comes to something like this, the cost effectiveness, yeah, I mean, you still, you could still do it, but where I am financially at the moment, it just doesn't make sense. So I'm just going blind re-amendment, if you like, and following guidelines that are given to me. So I just wanted to show you what I've done for this round of re-amendment. And I'm not practicing a no-till situation anymore. This is something I've stopped for the past maybe 8 months or something, maybe longer. And everything gets tilled in. So on a rerun, so basically when I'm turning the soil again or preparing for a new run, all of this bed, the entire bed, I think it's about 50 litres in here, I turn the whole lot and work the amendments into that, and yeah, just make it, yeah, turn it all again. And when the plants are in here, I still now, if I'm doing a top dress, will scratch into the surface the amendments, just to make it a bit quicker. You don't get that matting of amendments on top and what have you. It just makes a lot more sense. And the no-till side of things was a romantic thing, but in practical senses it just didn't make sense. I think a lot of the whole idea was obviously the fungal life, not so much a bacterium or the bacteria, because they're present, and you know, they don't mind a bit of tillage and what have you, they'll still be there and present. But when it comes to fungal life and fungal hyphae and what have you, if you start breaking that soil apart, then you're breaking hyphae and what have you, so that isn't conducive to fungal life. But again, from what I've learned over the years, trying to establish fungal, kind of either a one-to-one bacteria to fungi or a fungi dominant soil or bed is just almost impossible as far as my knowledge goes. I could be wrong in that, but from what I've spoken to some guys who really do know what they're talking about, it almost seems a little bit unnecessary to pursue that line. So yeah, that's just how I run it. Anyway, back to what I'm using. So we've got the life cycle here. I used 300 grams, again, this is 50 litres of soil here, so 300 grams of the life cycle and 200 grams of the charge, which is insect frass, I think, or meal frass. Meal frass, I think it says here. I don't know. If you check it out, like I say, check it out online, and you'll get all the spiel about what they are and what it does for your systems. And so yeah, that was the dry amendments added for here. That's all mixed in, and then I watered in 4 grams, so 1 gram per litre of the Biosys as well. Oh, little displays come down. So yeah, 4 grams of the Biosys as well, and that's obviously biology essentially, and that's going to just start speeding up that process of breaking things down and making them more plant available. I haven't yet decided what plant I'm going to put in here. I'm in a bit of a dilemma at the moment, and I'll run you through that in a minute if the video doesn't go on too long. But yeah, again, if any of you are interested, like I say, in the Ecothrive products, there is a discount code in the description below for, I think it's 10% off. It's Frosty10, but if you use the link that's there, I think that will take you straight to the website and automatically apply the code to your basket. Otherwise, you can just use it as you go through into the kind of checkout area. You can apply the Frosty10 code, and you'll also get some freebies as well. I think 1 of 3 products, just a free sample product. So yeah, definitely worth checking that out. And that's, like I say, that's Ecothrive. And I'm not 100% sure. I need to check on this, but I think certain items can go to Europe as well. I think it's not just the UK, I think it's Europe as well, but I have to check on that. Anyway, that is for the next round. Anyway, over to the 3x3. Now this tent I am incredibly excited for, and there has been a change in here. So on the last video I had James Loud Genetics GP3 in here. Now, I had 3 of those subsequently. They were called GP3, Gary Payton something or other. But anyway, they looked great, really healthy, but all of them hermed. A whole lot of them. And it didn't appear to me as a stress herm. It seemed to me as more of a just a genetic herm, really. And the reason why I say that is because I actually had one of the Loud Dreamscore, so Loud Dreamscore #1, in the back there, for some of you who might remember. I'm just going to turn this light down a bit because it seems a bit, there we go, it's a bit bright. So I had the Loud Dreamscore #1 in the back there, which was off of the last pheno hunt that I did. And so I only obviously had 3 of the GP3, so I wanted to fill the space, so I put a cut that I already had in there. That didn't herm at all, looked beautiful. Like I say, they all look beautiful and really healthy. But yeah, the GP3s were just all throwing pollen sacs, so I had to rip the whole lot out and start again, which was a bit disappointing. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty gutted. Part of the reason why I didn't do a video last week is I was kind of frustrated. I had stuff to do anyway, and I was trying to get bits and pieces done, but it's really frustrating when you come across a situation like that, because again, it's wasted time and what have you. I'd taken cuttings, it's taken space, I could have ran something else, but that's just all part and parcel of hunting through genetics. And you know, shit happens. It happens, so you know, I'll live with it. Anyway, what we've got in here, which is what I'm really excited about, is these Lime-O-Rilla. I've been waiting to run these for, well, I think I got the seeds around Christmas time. So yeah, I've been waiting a little while to run these, and here we are. We've got some of them in. I did mess up on the germination a bit, so I did have, I think out of the 11 seeds, I had 9 that popped. And unfortunately, I killed off, so what have I got? 6 left. So I killed off 2 of them, 3 of them. I think it would be 3 of them. Yeah, it would. Yeah, 3. Sorry, my maths terrible. So I killed off 3 of them by damping off. I just got a little bit heavy-handed with the water and balls them up a little bit. These ladies, as you can see, don't like much water. This one in particular has been struggling a little bit since she's been in here. They've been in here now for, I think Monday or Tuesday I put them in there, and we're Sunday today. So about 5 days, 6 days, something like that. But this lady took a little while to adjust. They just, yeah, they do not like it too damp. And as you can see, they're really broadleaf varieties as we come across. Even though you can see quite a difference in the height and what have you, they are very broadleafed, which would suggest that yeah, they are going to prefer a slightly drier climate than the kind of the damp feet situation. But nonetheless, Lime-O-Rilla, really excited. And the reason why I'm really excited, these are from Brandon Rust, which you can get on Bokashi, I think it's Bokashi Earthworks. But if you search Brandon Rust on Instagram, or put in Lime-O-Rilla onto Google or what have you, it should bring these up. But yeah, these I think tested in the terpene for the terpene content was, I think, touch, I think sorry, if my memory serves me correctly, it was about 5% to 6%. Now that is pretty damn high, and if they're pulling stuff like that, I don't know whether that was from a test run that they did and they tested a variety or a load of different alleles, or whether that was from the parent stock or the mother stock from this. I'm not 100% sure, but I have smoked some of this before from a friend who's got it and ran it, and it was absolutely insane. So I'm really excited about this. The only problem is we've got in here, they are regular seeds, so we could have some males in here. If they're all females, I'll be over the moon, but that's unlikely to happen. But yeah, as you can see, we've got a few different variations across these alleles here, so they're not too unlike one another. I'm not sure whether they're F1s. I would suspect that they are. So we're going to see a bit of the mum and a bit of the dad. But yeah, all in all, not looking too bad. We have got a bit of purple streaking going on. I'm not sure why that is. They were doing that even when they were in their fresh soil in the other pot. This soil has been re-amended, but only with the soil food. I have sent off some soil samples now, but I was really late sending them off, so they're not going to be a great deal of use for us. Well, they might be now. I've got new plants in here, and I've got a while until I flip. But we'll see how it goes. But nutrition really shouldn't be too bad in here. I have kept on top of things as best as possible, so we shouldn't be too far off the mark. I think they're just a bit fussy, to be perfectly honest, and the water will be playing a bit of an issue. If they're a bit waterlogged, you might see some restriction in uptake because of the death of the root hairs and what have you, so that's going to restrict uptake a little bit. What I do need to do is come in here, and I was thinking either to take one cutting off of each, but I much prefer to take two, so I'll probably come in here and top these ladies, and then, basically allow them to grow to Ecothrive stems, and I can take those for cuttings, just so I can really safeguard some cuttings. But I don't know, I haven't made a decision yet. I might just take one cutting off of each and leave them at that, and then flip them into flower probably next week or the week after. I don't want to leave them too long, simply because I don't want to waste too much time, especially if we've got males in here, and also, it's a pheno hunt, so I just want to get it done and out of the way, and then whatever I decide to keep, if anything, I can run a proper run of that then, veg it properly, all of that kind of crap. So yeah, anyway, Lime-O-Rilla, and I am rambling on. And again, we're in the Ecothrive soil, and using the Migro Aray 3. Anyway, over to the Veg Tent, last but not least, and it is looking pretty damn empty in here now. You can see trays and bits and pieces that all need cleaning. Yeah, I've done away with all the GP3s, all the loud dreamsicles, and the, what were they called? The loud candy creams, which is a shame, and unfortunately they are all of the James Loud genetics. I just didn't find anything worth keeping. The loud dreamsicles, I had some nice plants in there. They were some nice plants. They grew really well, and some really nice terpenes on the plant, but they didn't translate into the smoke at all very well. They didn't hold through the drying process. Part of that could have been my fault, but unfortunately, if it can't hold up in my environment and what I can provide on a mediocre kind of run, on an average thing, then it just isn't going to make it, because I've got to find things that work for me rather than me trying to work around things to their needs, if you know what I mean. You can do so much, but it becomes a point of how far do you go. So unfortunately none of those made the cut. I enjoyed growing them, but none of them made the cut. The only ones that I was a bit upset about were the GP3s that hermed, but that happens. It happens. And I think James Loud did actually put on his website at one point about which ones were more likely to herm because they had it in their lineage, and it's just something you cannot stop. You can try and breed it out as best as you can, but there's certain things that can trigger it, and it's really difficult. And to be honest, I'm glad that trait's there. It's done a lot for us in the community. But anyway, I'm not going to keep rambling on with that. But yeah, he did have it on his website, and then I think subsequently he's removed it. maybe because it wasn't good for business, which it isn't, but I like the honesty. So yeah, it isn't the end. They did actually just send me through some more loud dreamsicle seeds, so I'm looking forward to popping those again at some point in time, but again, I've got other things I want to do first. Anyway, so just going through, these are my mums here. So we've got 2 orange juice. Again, this comes back to the difference, that label is upside down, but it comes back to the difference between the good cut, the strong cut, and the weaker cut. And as you can see, these ladies have now been in these pots for 2.5 weeks, and the first feed was yesterday that I gave them. I pushed these out of the way. But yeah, if you look at the difference, sorry, I wasn't looking at what the camera was doing there. So you see this one, it's actually cut, taken at the same time, ran in the same area, they've had the same treatment all the way through, and just look at the difference. So this is one thing. This is what I'm trying to get away from, and running in this Ecothrive soil, which is, again, this is not something I've practiced much in the past. I've just used the light mix by the Biosys light mix, and yeah, I should have done this ages ago. The health is so much better. Like I say, 2.5 weeks in, they're full of growth and just full of vigor, should I say? Not full of growth, full of vigor, and just super healthy. Look at how healthy these ladies are. And bear in mind, when these ladies went in, they were solid purple. As you can see, the stems are solid purple. They were stressed out, what have you, but they are just looking better and better as time goes on. And like I say, the next lot of cuts, so the cuts I took off of here, will be going through the same process as these ladies, which means that in theory their health will be even better than these, and then so on and so forth until I get a much healthier mother stock, and it is really, really needed. No more hanging on to rickety old mums. Keep switching this stuff out. Like I say, been here 2.5 weeks. By the time the other cuts are ready, it's probably going to be three weeks, bordering on a month, and then those ladies, these will be gone, and there'll be some fresh ones in here. So yeah, I just want to point that out. So that's the 2 orange juice there. We've got a Mac mother here that I'm just keeping about for a friend at the moment. I'm not sure whether they still want it or not, so I just need to double check on that. Otherwise that lady will be getting chucked in the bin. And then the after dinner breath over in the back there, the faithful old after dinner breath. I do like that lady. Like I say, she's nice to grow. The smoke, I do enjoy the smoke. I'd be lying if I said I haven't enjoyed the smoke, but it's just not, it doesn't grab my attention all the time. Now here we have the Humboldt Dream. Now I still haven't smoked this yet. It's hanging up and drying as we speak. I cut that down last week, so it had about 70 days, I think, in flower, or something like that. But yeah, I'm in a toss-up between running this again in the 2x2 tent that I showed you, the one that I re-amended in bits and pieces. So either running this again and risking, you know, the flower might not be as good as what I want, and then I'm growing something that isn't really something that I want, essentially. So yeah, got a toss-up between that, but it is a heavy yielder, off to running the orange juice. And I was thinking about putting the 2 orange juice in a 20-gallon pot, but I cannot put them in there like this. I can't have this variation. So it's either the 1 orange juice or the Humboldt Dream, or I've got this here, and this is one of the Lime-O-Rillas. Now, this lady's got a bit of a way to go. She was the runt of the litter, or he or she was the runt of the litter, but it is healthy, and you know, you can see there was a bit of twisted growth to start with, but I persevered and left her to it, and I was going to kill her off at one point, and I thought, no, I'll just leave her to it. And as you can see, exactly the same age, germinated at the same time. I'll just take you over just to show you the difference between her. You know, there's a huge difference, but again, some magic has come from these little mutant plants and these little rump plants. So I'm not going to, I'm definitely going to run it again, but I don't know if it's worth putting in the 2x2 yet. I think it's good. I think it's too small. It's going to take up too much of my time. When I can put the orange juice in there, flip it within a week or two. Again, with the Humboldt Dream, it'll probably be about 2 weeks, and then turn flip. We're looking with that the best part of a month. So yeah, I don't know, I haven't made my mind up yet, but we'll see how it goes. But again, that's another Lime-O-Rilla there. I'm really excited to run that one. Like I say, super slow on the growth. Anyway, ladies and gents, that is about it. I have been rambling. It's 24 minutes long, this video. Jesus. So yeah, that's about it for this week. Thank you ever so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, we'll be back next week with another little update. Anyway, take care for now, guys.